Veterans and transitioning service members should not hire me to do their resume. And I'm going to give you three reasons why that is. The other day, I had a post up on LinkedIn, totally unrelated to anything veteran oriented. I don't do a lot of veteran content anymore. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Yes, the brand name is Major Data. Got it. However, post had nothing to do with the veteran space. It had to do with doing resumes and an event I've got coming up with a co-sponsor. Won't mention here because it's nothing to do with this video. However, there was a commenter, dude I had not heard from in a couple of years, who got on there and we got in a little tit for tat. It's something I'm trying to dial back on this year. I got into a lot of that kind of sarcastic exchanges with nasty commenters. I don't want to do that this year. I want to be more positive. We'll talk about that. But I got into it with this person, and at one point I got called basically like a grifter, a con artist. I'm trying to get rich quick off of the backs of veterans. And that kind of got to me. I ended the thing real quick. I said, neat, okay, thanks for your time. Talk to you later. But I'm trying to turn the negative into a positive, and I want to get on here and talk about my business is not oriented towards veterans, and I want to tell you why. And I've never really done this until now. I've just sort of dialed back on the veteran content and catering to veterans, but I never really expressed why that is. And I want to talk about that here. I got three reasons why veterans should not use my resume service. And they're legitimate reasons. I'm not being sarcastic either. There we go. Reason number one, veterans and transitioning service members and current service members and all that, y'all can get free help with your resume. You can't. There are a lot of veteran service organizations out there that do free resume services. They'll help counsel you, they'll give you templates, they'll do all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not going to link them because I don't endorse them. And I'll tell you why. Free is often just a synonym for worthless, terrible. Some veteran service organizations are better than others as far as helping with resumes. And I won't say which is which because it's not that big of an interest for me. But when I do veteran events or when I did veteran events, I would get into it with people because they would say, well, I can get this for free. Why should I pay? And my answer was, you shouldn't. If you're in the market for free, go get free. Your resume, especially for a transitioning service member, is the single most crucial thing. Assuming you don't have a well-developed professional network, which most of you don't. Your resume is the single most important thing for you getting a job outside of the military. And that's true for civilians as well. And that's the reason why I focus on resumes and why I'm passionate about that is because it's the single most important touch point for anybody that's not getting an internal referral for jobs. If you want to take the single most important thing to a successful transition into gainful employment and spend nothing on that crucial touch point, awesome. There are definitely assets out there, there are organizations out there that will help you with a resume for free. If that's your budget, if that's your prioritization of your resume, I am totally out of the business of trying to convince people to pay me for something that they are inclined to get for free. You want free, go get free. It's there for you. I charge for my free time. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but I have a 9 to 5 job. I'm still on the grind. I've got a corporate job. And I won't name my employer, but that's what takes up the majority of my time and energy. I'm still learning. So it kind of tends to extend beyond the 9 to 5. I do some work on the weekends. I do work mornings, afternoons, evenings. So that is my number one priority. My number two priority is my family. My family suffered long enough while I was in the military, deploying, getting all these, knickknacks and things you see behind you. they're a priority now, and they weren't for far too long. So that's number one and number two. After that, I have free time. Now, within certain constraints, I'll sell that free time. But make no mistake, I'd much rather spend that free time sitting on the couch and watching football. Now, my wife can tell you after 24 years of blissful marriage, it can be a bit of a struggle to get me off of that couch and get me to turn off football and go do something productive. I'm freely admitting that. If you want me to take my free time, get off my couch, turn off the football game, and go work on your resume, you're going to have to pay me to do that. I don't feel any guilt about that. So I'll say it again. Veterans and transitioning service members and military spouses and first responders and everybody else, you can get a free resume. In my experience, it's not going to be very good. But if you want a free resume, it's there for you. Go get it. I'm not going to convince you to pay me money for something you can get for free. Go get it for free. Live your best life. The only other thing I will say on this, and I've said this before, it's a funny thing about free. When somebody doesn't have a profit motive for helping you, and they don't have any personal stake in you, like you're not a personal friend or relative, they'll only go so far to give you their very best. Anybody that's been to the DMV can attest that when someone's only motivation is just don't screw up so bad that you get fired, you're going to get bad service. When you go to somebody for free resume help, what's their motivation for doing a good job? Don't get fired. That will only motivate you so far. Me personally, if you're paying me for a resume, I've got skin in the game now. I better do a good job or you're going to give me a bad review. You can tell your friends about me. So that's a little bit extra. So that's all I'll say about that. Reason number one why veterans and transitioning service members should not hire me. Because a lot of you want free help. If you want free help, go get free help. That ain't me. All right. Reason number two why veterans and transitioning service members should not hire me. Full disclosure, when I came out of the military, when I retired, I got free help with my resume. I took advantage of more than one veteran service organization that helped me with my resume. Some of that help was actually helpful and some of it was totally worthless. Again, I won't say which is which because many of these organizations are wonderful and they are well-meaning and they just don't know what a good resume look like, or the people they got working on resumes just don't care because you're not paying them. Here's what I will say. I look back at that resume that I had when I retired, and I can tell you unequivocally, based on all of my years of experience since, it was terrible. An absolute abomination. When I took that to various veteran service organizations for the free resume help, guess what I heard about my resume? It's fine. Folks, I did mention that I've been married for 24 blissful years to my wonderful wife. Anybody that's in a relationship for any length of time, you know something's up. You get attuned to that person. You know something's wrong. They're not feeling right. The vibe ain't there. You did something to make them mad. You can't figure out what it is. You go to her and you say, sweetheart, what's wrong? I can tell something's bothering you. And she doesn't even make eye contact. She says, it's fine. I'm here to tell you it is not fine. It is so not fine. It is 180 degrees from fine if you hear that. My friends, if you take your resume to the free help, the free advice, and they say your resume is fine, that means one of two things. Number one, they don't know what a good resume looks like, so they're just guessing. Number two, they know that your resume is hot trash, but they don't feel like helping you fix it. Why? Because it's free. So if your resume is barely adequate, maybe. they're going to say it's fine, just like they told me it was fine. My resume was not fine, just like when your wife says it's fine, it's not fine. Okay. So, and bottom line, do you really want a barely adequate resume? That's probably going to lead you to a barely adequate job. If that's your goal, awesome. If you're aiming a little higher, well, maybe you should get a slightly more quality product. So, sum up all of that mess. Free often equals worthless. Veteran service organizations, as well-meaning and well-intentioned as they may be, don't often know what is a good or successful resume. And bottom line, your resume is important. If you're not willing to spend any money on it, I would suggest maybe you reassess your priorities. But feel free to not hire me. If you're in the market for free, go get free. My second point, the second reason why veterans should not hire me to do their resumes is I don't specialize in veteran resumes. It doesn't say so on my website. I don't orient myself towards veterans. Yes, the brand is Major Data. I got it. It's a pun. It's a joke. I retired at the saddest rank in the military, Major. And so I make a joke about it. No kid ever dreams of growing up to be a major. That's not a thing. But I don't orient my business towards veterans. Nothing on my LinkedIn page says, hey, veterans, I'll do your resumes here. Nothing in my branding speaks to veterans other than the reference to my terminal rank. So I don't feel like I'm misinforming anybody. Let me give you a couple of good references here for people that do specialize in veteran resumes, because I want to be helpful. I want to turn this negative into a positive. Number one, veterans, transitioning service members, if you are looking for a government job, like a GS job, there is one person and one person that I know that is the peerless expert on this. Her name is Hope White. Let me show you. Oop, make her bigger. There we go. Now, the best place to find Hope White is on LinkedIn. Her tag on LinkedIn is Hopeful Speaking, but you can just search for Hope White. She spells her name in all caps. Hope is, as far as I know, the peerless expert on doing federal resumes, which is the type of resume one needs to get a federal government job, a job with the DoD. I don't do federal resumes. They're really hard. I don't want to master that. That is a specific skill. If you want one of those GS jobs, you should go hire Hope. The key word there is hire. Just like me, Hope does not work for free. It's just a thing. If you want something that's quality, you're going to pay for it. My work is quality. Hope's work is quality. You're going to pay. Now, the other thing is, this is Hope's full-time gig. I still have a day job. Doing resumes is my side hustle. Hope does this all day long. You better believe she's not doing that for free. That's what pays the bills. Okay? So, federal job, federal resume, go see Hope White. You'll thank me. Tell her I sent you. She won't give me any money. She'll probably just give me a little DM high five or something like that. Okay. Now, moving on. If you want someone that specializes in military resumes, I know a guy named Brad Tachi. Tachi, I don't really know. Anyway, I am connections with the guy, but Brad runs a site called bestmilitaryresume.com. Is it the best military resume? I don't know. I don't actually endorse Brad because I've never used his service. I do know him and I know he's a quality person, but I've never got a resume from the guy. Here's what I know about him. Brad has trained his own large language machine, his own algorithm, his own AI to take the kind of chewed oatmeal of military resumes and gonculate it into something that looks like a productive civilian resume. He has happy customers that I've heard of. Can't personally endorse the guy, but I understand something about his business model, and it seems like he's kind of got his stuff together. So got some testimonials here. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. These are anonymous. Misspelled that. Anyway, but if you want a guy that specializes in military resumes and translating our goofy like fit reps and all of the other, award write-ups and all of the other silly things that we try and turn into resumes, Brad's your guy. Here's the other thing I'll say. You've got to hire Brad. Why? Because this is his full-time gig. This is what pays the bills. So if you want Brad to give you a good military resume, like non-military resume, civilian resume, you're going to pay for it. See the theme here? Okay. None of us are get rich quick. Hope White's not rich. I'm not rich. Brad's not rich. We're not getting rich. We are making money. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this. So, let's not get it twisted here. Now, I don't specialize in veteran resumes. I specialize in data analyst. It's right there in the name, major data. I do specialize in helping military transition into the data industry. I can definitely do that. I do content on that. But I help everybody get into the data industry. I've helped teachers, I've helped project managers, I've helped waitresses, everybody. Transitioning into data is a specific problem that is not genetic to the military community. Okay. So, reason number two why veterans and transitioning service members should not hire this guy to do their resume is I don't specialize in veteran resumes. I gave you two people that do. Feel free to hire them if that's what you need. And so that brings us full circle to reason number three why a veteran or transitioning service member should not hire major data to do their resume. Reason number three, I will just level with you. Veteran resumes are a pain. That's why my hat's off to Brad for designing a large language model that can deal with veteran resumes. I'm impressed. Veteran resumes are tough. I would say that the average veteran resume that I work on probably takes me twice as long to do than a regular like teacher to data analyst or just data analyst trying to upskill or any of those people. It takes me twice as long. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, translating military speak to civilian speak is hard. Again, that's why I respect what Brad's done. It's a difficult thing. There's whole websites out there devoted to translating the jargon that we use and the acronyms and the titles and all of that stuff into something that you can sell on the civilian side. That's tough. I'm pretty good at it. It's probably some people out there that are better, but it's not much fun. It's not why I got into writing resumes. So veteran resumes just genetically, the way they are, the way we speak, they're a lot of work. The other thing is, I hate to say it, I care more about veterans. Not only that, they pay me less. I do give a 25% veteran discount on all of my services. So me full rewrite of your resume is about $200, 197, but it's pricing theory. 200 bucks. Just call it what it is. I give 25% off to veterans. That's 50 bucks out of my pocket. So already I'm working for less. It's tougher to do to translate military to civilian. So I'm working twice as much and I care more. We've got skin in the same game to a certain extent. The other thing is veterans and transitioning service members, people that are paying me to do their resumes, they're generally retirees. You're talking about people that have 20 plus years of cut and paste fitness reports that they're asking me to translate. I'm not kidding you. I have gotten retired Marines that have given me a resume that was 8 pages. My friends, I'm not going to give you back a resume that's any more than 2. Why? Because no civilian resume should be more than 2 pages unless you're doing an executive resume, and that's a whole different ballgame. So it's a lot of work. And I work harder on veteran resumes than I do on any others. So for those reasons, because the return on investment is way lower for me, please, veterans, go somewhere else. Go see Brad with his large language model. You'll be good, I think. So reason number 3, why veterans should not hire me to do their resumes. Your resumes are a pain. They're really tough to do. Now, I said that I wanted to express some of these things. These are things that I've thought about and processed through. And I've never really gotten them off my chest before. I don't do a lot of veteran content anymore. When I first retired, I did a lot, and then I kind of mentally forced myself to, hey, you're a data analyst now, you're a professional, you're not a Marine anymore. You can see some of the bric-a-brac behind me is Marine Corps oriented, and then some of it, where's my finger? Right there. Some of it is data analytics stuff. So it's just starting to transition. At some point, I made a decision, and it was sometime last year, that I'm just kind of out of the veteran content game. There are a handful of people whose content I will still comment on and weigh in on if they say something interesting or if it's something relevant to me. But I'm not out there posting veteran content anymore. And I thought about going through, when I was called, taking advantage of veterans and all my brand and my message is garbled. I thought about going through all of my content and saying, look at my posts, not veteran, not veteran, I'm not going to do that. I don't do a lot of veteran content anymore. It's pretty rare. Once a month, maybe I'll say do something about it. I don't do veteran events much anymore. I do a few kind of local ones. I will talk to the American Legion because I'm a member. I will talk to I have a local veterans business organization that I really enjoy, and I'll do resume content for them. I've found for all the reasons I've previously named that doing veteran oriented events and things like that, there's not a lot of ROI for me. And I've had too many instances where I wound up just arguing with people about the whole point number one, like we can get it for free. Why should we pay you? You shouldn't. I invite you to not pay me. Go get free. So for various and sundry reasons, I I have spent the last couple of years deciding like where the veteran thing fits in my life and in my heart. And I belong to the Legion and I do all these things. But business wise, short of the brand name, it's just not a thing that I'm going to focus on. There are people for that. Go find them. Now, having said all of that, I'm really good at doing veteran resumes. And absolutely, if you want to go see, it's right there on my website. Here's all these veterans, military spouses. These are all just veterans. 5-star reviews for me on mine. And most of these open to works, they've been hired since. I just haven't updated this in a while. Absolutely. If you're a veteran who wants to invest in their future, if if you're going to be a good client, if you're going to work with me, if you're going to be constructive about the process, I absolutely invite you to hire me. I'm not saying no veteran should hire me. I'm just giving you all the reasons why, somebody might take a shot at me. That being said, I made a resolution this year, and I like to keep my New Year's resolutions. I take them seriously. I went negative too many times content wise last year, and I've made a resolution to stop that. So I got called a bunch of names the other day. I got, a bunch of insinuations thrown at me. I'm a grifter trying to make money off of the backs of struggling veterans. I'm trying to get rich quick. Trust me, if I'm getting rich, it is far from quick. 2024 Albert would have responded to that by taking screenshots of this person's comments and making a post about it and clowning them, saying like, look how silly their argument is. Like, I'm not even posting about veterans. None of this has to do with veterans. I decided not to do that. 2024 Albert would also have screenshotted this person's DM to me from 2 years ago, where this person thanked me for the great work I'm doing with veterans and all the wonderful content I'm putting out that's so helpful to people. But I'm not going to do that either. I'm not even calling this person out by name. I'm here turning a negative into a positive because, hey, you may have heard the last good book I read, don't give the enemy a seat at your table. And I'm not. I'm turning a negative into a positive. And so I thank this person. Thank you for clarifying in my mind how to make this content and put it out here, how to express my attitude and my brand with regards to veteran clients and why I do the things that I do and why I don't do the things that I don't do. Okay. So we're turning negatives into positives here in 2025. If you've heard all that and you're a veteran, you're a service member, and you still want to hire me, awesome. Go to my website, themajordata.com, and we'll talk. I got a bunch of different things on there. They don't all make me very much money. In fact, none of them really makes me that much money, at least in the short term. In the aggregate, quite a few. But yeah, let's talk. I love to just have conversations with veterans. And I will do a review of your resume for free. I will tell you where the bodies are buried. I pull no punches. And that was part of the butthurt that this person had about my post the other day was I told people, hey, I'm going to be reviewing resumes and I might not be nice about it. Now, it was just a little tongue in cheek to get people to engage. I'm totally going to be nice about it. Trust me. I'm no longer a major. I'm no longer a sergeant. I left those people in my past. I'm pretty much a softie at this point. But yeah, something about that just it stuck in my craw for a bit, and I chewed on it for a bit, and I talked about it with my wife, and then I said, you know what? This is going to be an opportunity. This is going to be an opportunity for me to express myself and to talk directly to the veteran community about my business, how it relates to them, and the opportunities they have out there. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. I hope you understand if you want to know about veteran service organizations that will give you free assistance, I can definitely refer you to them. There are some that I do think are somewhat helpful with resumes. I'll steer you away from the ones that don't. If you need me to introduce you to Brad or Hope, I'm friends with both of them. I will tag them on posts related to this video. I hope that I've helped them drum up some business for themselves. If you've heard all this and it's kind of poked you in the chest and you're like, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to hire you. Awesome. I'm right here for you. I do offer a veteran discount. Just make sure you DM before you press purchase on the resume. Make sure you send me a message and I'll give you the veteran discount code. I don't just hand it out because then everybody will use it. We can't have that. But yeah, I hope this was helpful to you. Folks, welcome to 2025. This is my first long form video of 2025. New bling here. We've got the t-shirts. I'm filling out the t-shirt a little bit more than I might like to, so we're working on that too. Um, but yeah, Major Data 2025. I got my wife and my son helping me out. You may have seen our Christmas video. So big things to come. We're working on some great stuff. And if you want to hire me, you know where to find me. Semper Fidelis, and I'll talk to you later.